All right, welcome back. Another episode. I forgot what we're calling this.
Harpreet and John's podcast about real estate.
HSR talk.
Is that what it's called?
I guess so. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyways,
that's pretty bad that we don't have a name for it, man.
I think we do. I think in the last one we had this conversation.
What last one? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Don't worry, you're gonna see it. They're gonna see it before you see it. Cool. So it's now like mid-September.
Not mid-September. Is it mid-September? September 13th?
That's mid.
That's pretty mid. I mean, if you want to talk about mid would be the 15th, actually.
Okay.
It'd be this Friday.
We're approaching mid-September.
Yes,
right?
we are.
So the other one we shot, I think it was in July.
No. It was in August. Beginning of August.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you're seeing this, you've already seen the first episode. The first episode we shot back in July.
August. I literally said August.
August.
You don't listen, man. Okay.
August is the first week, like the weekend or something. I think we shot it.
I think so.
I'm gonna go back and check on that. So maybe next episode I'll let you know if it was July.
And if I'm right, then what do I get?
You can be the host on the next episode.
I get to sell your fridge.
That's another story.
Yeah, I get to sell your fridge.
So today, John and I, we're going to talk about real estate.
As we should. And,
I
mean, we should probably just tell them what we've been up to for the last, I guess, month.
Yeah, let's start with that. What have you been up to?
What have you been up to? What have we been up to?
What have we been up to? So this is a good summer. We have been getting back into this like grind of real estate. And
I wouldn't even say grind. I feel like it's coming effortlessly, because everything is aligned in terms of what our vision and our goals are.
Right. And like early on in real estate, I always looked at this as a grind, right? Like the harder you work, the better you're going to do, which I think is true, right? It requires hard work. But one thing I'm realizing now is that hard work is hard work, but you have to be working smart. You have to be working efficiently. As we're a lot older than we were before, right? I think when we're younger, it's a lot more forgiving. You can, dedicate a lot more time.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm still young, man. I'm still young. Don't disrespect me like that.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Like now you have all these other things going on in life where you probably can't hustle or grind 7 days a week, right? Like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, right? 5
a.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, but I mean, that's also, I think the beautiful thing is, I think you and I have developed a system, right? Where, for myself, because obviously I am doing real estate, but at the same time I also do acting.
Right.
Right. So for example, like if I'm off doing a shoot, we
work well together.
Yeah, definitely in the best way possible, right?
Right. And I always have something going on. Like real estate is the primary thing, right? But I'm getting into this media marketing stuff that people are liking, but teaching.
Yeah,
right?
teaching. You are, exactly. Isn't that wild how you are now a teacher?
Instructor, no, facilitator.
Facilitator.
Course designer and facilitator. That's wild, right?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. You were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
How you were talking to like the dean of.
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah, that's wild. You not want to talk about that?
Let's not talk about.
Why
that.
not?
Let's not talk about.
All right.
NDAs, bro.
I didn't say no NDA. I didn't say no NDA. I can talk about whatever I want.
No, I know. Actually, I've been volunteering with the student group, right? And I've been volunteering and advising them. It was a student group I was a part of. I think we talked about it last time, Enactus.
I'm a bad friend, though. I had no idea that you're actually doing that. You're like, yeah, man, I've been telling you that I've been doing this for like the last 2 years since the pandemic?
No, not 2 years.
See, I'm a terrible friend.
The last 8 months. But I've been helping these college students volunteering and helping them, do this thing. But which maybe we can talk about some other time. But
so yeah,
you were going to tell us what have we been up to?
Yeah. We've taken on a bunch of clients.
Bunch of new clients that we weren't working with before.
Yeah. So a bunch of lease deals, like rental, commercial, and also buyers as well too. And
we got that listing coming up.
Yeah,
hopefully.
and we have a listing coming up as well. Actually, just like in your hood.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's been pretty busy to say the least. I feel like. The last, I guess, the summer has just been really, really busy. I don't know what else to say, right?
Yeah, it's been busy. we've been doing like the leases, right? A lot of leases, you know, and some of them work out and some of them don't because there's so many challenges right now. What are your takes on it? Like, what do you think? Because there's a lot of people that want to move, right? So a lot of people maybe in the pandemic holding for sound.
What was that?
Did you hear it?
I heard like a.
It's just the volume's really high in our headphones.
Okay, cool.
So this is live.
Let's answer that. Ask that question again.
Yeah, no, we'll keep it going, right? So a lot of people are, you know, maybe in the pandemic, they got more space or they moved in with a roommate to save money or whatever it is. So a lot of people are now like, hey, I want to make a move again. Either they want their own spot, they want to find a different location. So
right, because there was so much uncertainty, right? Yeah. Like there was so much uncertainty during the pandemic. So like you said, yeah, people just weren't making moves.
And people coming back to the city now, maybe they left the city, they moved in with family or whatnot. What are your thoughts? Like, how can people prepare themselves to get into leasing, right? Especially with, well, let's talk about our process, right? So
I mean,
and working with an agent, they don't always have to work with an agent when they're leasing.
No, definitely not. You know, anyone can go on, Google and just look up properties and reach out to whoever the listing agent is. There's so many other ways to go about and do it, right? As you're saying, like PadMapper, Facebook Marketplace. There's just so much information. There's so many avenues that are available. But nowadays, I feel like with renting, it's like a job interview now.
Literally, right? Yeah. Like the recent one we did, we had to meet on Zoom with the agent.
Yeah, and that, you know, and to be able to get a hold of that agent, you know, because there were so many people coming through looking at the properties, like I feel like even the listing agents were overwhelmed, right? There's a lot of volume coming in. Yeah. There's a lot of, it's literally like a job interview where you have to get to a place where everything has to be pristine, your credit score, you know, your references.
There can be no holes, right? There can be no questions left unanswered.
Yeah, like the moment, you know, the listing agent or the landlord feels like they have like even like the smallest inkling of it being a little sketchy.
Yep.
They're like, no, thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you very much.
If they reply, right?
If they reply.
Yeah.
You know, we have, there's stories of people paying up until, you know, almost like a year's worth of rent.
Yeah.
You know, prepaying all of that as well too, right? Which is crazy.
It's become so normal, right? Where you're never like expected as, well, like you're not required to prepay for the whole year up front, but so many listing agents and landlords just expect it. Yeah. And they'll word it as the tenant volunteers to pay it.
Like to sweeten the deal.
But really it's a condition of them leasing it. Like they're only going to give it to you if you're willing to pay for the whole year, right? Yeah,
and people at this point, like for example, you know, this one client that we had, it took almost a month of like 3 weeks
to get it done. Maybe about let's say about a month, 4 weeks,
about a month,
and about like 7 offers.
Yeah, about 7 offers. You know, listings come up onto the market, just listed within a day or two, and they're gone just like that.
They're gone, or we send in an offer. There's other offers, and well, let's actually back up. Like, you know, like you said, like people have so many options, right? So why work with us? Well, what we can do as agents is actually, you know, put you in I wouldn't say that like in a better sense or something, but we can help you navigate the market.
In a better position,
a better position, or like even when the landlord's looking at it,
right?
They know that we've done our due diligence, and we do that, right? So like,
well, it's like small things, right? Where, you know, like the listing agent puts in conditions, you know, that are actually not legal. Right. Like we had something like that come up.
Many times.
Yeah, many times. But like, you know, more so recently, you know, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So like, I'll talk on it. Like, you know, so actually, let me come back to this, right? So, but when we start working with someone, that's really weird, eh? Are you getting the feedback?
Yeah. I think it's because I'm going too close like this. Maybe that's the case. I don't know.
Unless it's my dog.
It could be. It could be Blaze. Yeah. Blaze, are you okay? Yeah.
Okay. No, he's good.
Harpreet has a dog. Who's, just laying there, being patient. Oh, okay.
Okay, chill. So we're gonna continue on with the podcast. I think it's definitely feedback from my microphone.
Yeah.
But I got the headphones volumes really cranked. Anyways, let's keep it rolling. So that was him.
That was your dog.
Okay, chill. Go upstairs.
Stop yelling at your dog like that.
Nah,
That's abusive.
Nah. He's hard of hearing. He's old.
Is that why? Yeah.
Okay, so whenever we take on like a new tenant client, right? We want them to be prepared. We could start showing you things. That's definitely him, right?
That's your dog.
You might be hearing this on the microphones, but like we could start taking you to see properties right away, right? Like if you reach out to us, hey, I'm looking for a 1-bedroom. I want to be in Liberty Village. You know, I'm willing to pay $2,700, $2,800 a month or whatever it is. Like we could send you properties right away. We could take you to see properties right away. But really, that's a waste of time. And, you know, a lot of people are like, well, why can't we go right now? It's because we want to help prepare you for what's to come. We want to manage your expectations. Right. We want to make this seamless as possible. So we actually start with you having all your documents ready, right?
Yeah.
Getting the rental application filled out, figuring out who your references are.
Credit score.
Get your credit score, look at the report, get your job letters, get your pay stubs.
Even now, like bank statements as well, too.
Bank statements, right? Some landlords want to see that. If you're self-employed, it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
But we've done many of those deals where tenants are self-employed and we've helped them find a spot where it's very hard for someone that doesn't have consistent income, and the landlord's like, well, we had one, right? Straight up on the listing, they had your monthly income must be 3 times the rent, and you must be able to send in your job letters and your pay stubs and your bank statements to show that you have 3 times the rent as your monthly income.
Yeah.
And someone that's self-employed, they might make a bunch of money in 1 or 2 months, and they have 2 or 3 slow months. And
it's inconsistent, right? But, you know, it's our job to also paint a picture for our clients, and also paint a picture, you know, so that the landlord and the listing agent, you know, whoever is listing the property, you know, they can have that faith, in good faith, right? So that's our job. You know, that's what we can provide in terms of the service that we can provide for, you know, our clients. And that being said, on top of, you know, for example, we're talking about, you know, preparing them to send in their employment letters, their credit score, all the documents. I think it's also important to paint a picture for our own clients to figure out what location they want to be in, right? Because I think, like, looking for places in, for example, let's say if it's a condo, you know, there's so many condos in downtown Toronto. Like, there's so many, right? And so to be able to paint a picture and to be able to explain to our clients, like, look, you need to find a neighborhood that works for you. Looking at anything more than, you know, 4 to 5 properties is exhausting, right? So, you know, as you're alluding to, time is of the essence with all these things. So if you're going from Liberty Village all the way to up to like Young and Bloor, Yorkville, you're going up to like
Casa Loma, St. Clair.
Yeah, you know, ultimately, you know, that's number one, a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. So for us, it's being able to have that conversation with our clients, allowing them to be like, what works for you? What location works for you? What do you want to be around? Restaurants, close to the subway? You know, what is the perfect scenario for you? And that's another, you know, just another means of what the value we can provide. Right.
So a lot of what we're doing is actually making the process efficient, right? So we get everything prepared up front. And you know what? Many times what we can tell people is, well, looking at your credit report here, it's probably going to be better if you find something on your own. Because when you're working with an agent, a lot of landlords, like, they have this expectation of what they call AAA tenants, right? They only want someone with 750 plus credit score. They only want someone that makes like 4 times the monthly rent as income. And if we just start showing you properties, then we don't prepare you for this. We might waste a month, find the right place, and the landlord's not willing to work with you, right? So sometimes the right advice from us is working with us is not going to actually benefit you, right? It's going to waste a lot of time for you. And there's a very hard chance, based on your current situation, that we're able to help you find something. But here are some tips, right?
Yeah, and there's also, you know, if they, let's say hypothetically, you know, for some reason their credit score is bad, you know, maybe advising them to have someone co-sign, right?
Or a guarantor.
A guarantor, exactly. So, you know, it's just like small little details like that where, you know, when we take on clients, We want to be able to provide, once again, them with the best value, the best advice, put them into a situation, where they can find the best situation for them, right?
Yep. And I think that's really it. So, leasing can be a stressful thing,
daunting.
At the end of the day, but when you work with an agent or a salesperson, a broker, as a tenant, there's no cost to you, right? If we help you find something, typically we're being paid by the landlord. Our company's being paid by the landlord. So for you get a service, you get, a professional, you get someone to help you navigate the clauses. We're going to come back to the clauses. So I'll give you 2 examples of clauses that we see all the time that are not allowed. They're technically illegal, right? And they can't be enforced, but it's landlords and other agents who are taking advantage of the uninformed. So one clause we see all the time is, I call it a repair deductible, right? And it's written in various different ways, but it'll say something like the tenant is responsible for the first $75, $100, $200, $300, whatever it is, whatever amount they choose of any repairs to the property, right? Regardless of who caused it. So if you as a tenant break something, like if you slam the door and you break the door, you're responsible for that, right? There's no questions. But let's say the door just falls off one day,
or wear and tear of let's say a dryer or
a faucet, a cabinet. If something breaks on its own, it's because of wear and tear. The landlord is fully responsible for that. But these tenants will add these clauses, these agents will add these clauses in there, or the landlord will add these clauses that says, well, you as the tenant are responsible for the first $100, $200. So basically they're saying if the repair is less than this amount, you're paying for the whole thing, which is not allowed as per the Residential Tenancies Act. So we are there to help you navigate that. We're there to ensure you know what your rights are, right? What's another one we see? Another one I always see is tenant voluntarily agrees to provide post-dated checks, right? So the payment of rent is something that's negotiated. But if you as the landlord are putting it in the clauses saying, if you want my place, this is the only option. That's not a negotiation, right? How you pay rent is supposed to be agreed upon by the landlord and the tenant. So we see that all the time. And there's other ones, right? There's these key deposits. So the key deposit, you're allowed a key deposit, but it's only for the replacement value of the keys. For a house, the replacing keys is not $300.
No, it's not.
Right? Even in a condo, if you get one fob, you get one key, one mailbox key. It's not going to be $300. In a condo, it could be close, maybe if you're getting 2 fobs, right? So we're there to help you point these things out. Because once you move in as a tenant, now you have a relationship with the landlord. We are kind of out of the picture at that point, right? We're not there day-to-day managing the properties. So you, once you move in, have to deal with the landlord. And we want to prepare you to understand what to expect, right? And we work with a lot of young people who've never lived on their own, right? They've never leased. So a lot of this is new to them. So that's the benefit we bring.
And then also understand that we've gone through this process so many times that, when we do approach a property and we do, I think it's more of instinctually, we understand that even though, our client really, really wants this place, right? The vibe of the landlord, like you said, being too uptight, literally digging their talents into our client, right? Going after them for the small little things, that they may not understand are, illegal or legal, right? It's our job to be like, okay, you know what? This is a great property. This is amazing. It's a good situation on paper, but understanding, hey, let's walk away and look at other options because, it's ultimately, we're looking out for their best interests, right? And we don't want to put our clients in the situation where, like you said, the landlord screws them over or literally approaches them, as a helicopter parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's our job as well too, right? To be able to suss that out.
Yeah. 100%. So I think like before we move on from that, what we could sum it up as, if you're looking to rent, you're looking to lease, we can help you, right? There's no upfront cost to you. Typically, there's no cost to you at all, as we get paid by the landlord, but you get a professional who's working for you. Because even if you found something online and the landlord has an agent and you just call the agent, well, guess what? Who does the agent represent? The agent is working for the landlord. So it's still beneficial for you to have your own representative. And that's where John and I can come in. So you can always reach out to us via email, via our website, our phones, DM, Instagram, whatever it is. We are here to help you, as long as you're not under contract with someone, right? If you are under contract with someone else, then there's not much we can do. But if you're not working with another agent, we are more than happy to take on leases. You know, a lot of agents don't like leases. And I always tell people, like, a lot of agents do leases as a favor. We don't. This is part of our business.
Yeah, of course, because we want to continue to build relationships, right? And we want to be able to, just put our best foot forward in anything that we do. I heard a story actually of a listing agent who he literally went through, just didn't even go through the whole process of screening any tenants. Yeah. And brought his family member into the thing without even without even telling the landlord who this person was. Isn't that crazy? Wow. It's crazy, man.
I hear a lot of stories, right? That I can't talk about.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
From the volunteer work I do. But yeah.
That's also true. Oh yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah. Don't report me.
I'm on I volunteer with the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, right?
He's a narc.
Professional standards.
You're a narc.
Right?
You're a narc.
I think it allows us to, for me, it's been tremendous, right? Just learning and navigating.
Of course.
How professional we need to be.
And what you can and cannot do.
Yeah, which we knew, right? Which is but anyways, let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. Why don't we talk about
first-time home buyers?
Yeah, we're following this journey, right? You move out, you're living with roommates or whatnot, you're in university, so you end up leasing your first place. But I think a lot of people, and we work with a lot of them, if they are leasing right now, naturally the next thing they want to do is get their own place.
Exactly. Because where does that money go, right? Monthly, let's say you're paying $2,500, $2,000, let's say, $2,000 every single month, which is unheard of. $2,000 doesn't exist. But that money that, that you're spending literally goes to nothing, right? So putting yourself into a position where, we can see if the numbers all align, if your financial situation, if, whatever situation that you're in, allows you to be able to upgrade for sure. And there's a big wealth transfer that's happening right now too, right? Where a lot of these young professionals, people our age, are also getting money sent down from their parents, right? Their mom or dad, right? Where these parents are also refinancing, their homes that are $3 million and giving $200,000-$300,000 to their kids, right? So there's a lot of people that are our age right now that are in a situation where they could potentially buy a condo or a house out in the suburbs. I think that's happening a lot. Right,
it is, and I would say 2,000 is very low. Maybe $3,000, right? You're probably paying.
Yeah. Of course.
2,000 is just the number.
Yeah.
Utilities, tenant insurance.
Of
course. If you're spending $3,000 right now, could you own something? Right, where's that money going? Yeah, maybe as a buyer right now with interest rates, maybe you're gonna, if you do buy something, maybe you're paying a few $100s more. But at the end of the day, that's all your money, right? You're paying down your mortgage, and a mortgage, the way I think about it, is like a forced savings account, right? Every month you make a mortgage payment. Your mortgage payment has two portions, right? It has the interest portion and it has the principal. And the principal, it's like putting money away in a savings account, right? You're putting that away every month. Where when you're paying rent, it's all rent, right? You don't get to save it.
It goes nowhere. That money dissipates into another person's pocket.
Well, landlords, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're a landlord.
Yeah, I'm a landlord too. So it's good. It's a smart sort of way to go about it for sure. Yeah. Right? Cash flow is everything.
And maybe you're renting. Maybe you're renting. You like living in Toronto, but maybe you have that capital to start investing. So maybe it makes sense for you to become a landlord, right? I know a lot of people that rent. They're where they live, but they own real estate, right?
Exactly.
And they're making money from that.
It's turning, a lot of smart, people in Toronto, like you said, they're buying houses.
Yeah.
Whether it be in the outskirts, like in like Ajax, Pickering, wherever, turning their basement into an apartment where they can actually have that extra cash flow. And that's also a smart decision, right?
Yeah. I know a guy, he lives in his basement and he rents out the upper portion of his house.
Right.
Because he's just on his own. He doesn't need the whole house.
Right. But it's also, putting yourself into a position where, yes, like that is a very, very smart decision to make. It does make sense from a business perspective.
But a hard one.
But a hard one. But at the same time, it's also knowing like the small little details. For example, you find the perfect house. There's a separate entrance to the basement. You're looking to actually make it into a rental, like a rental.
It's like one of our clients.
Yeah, right. To have rental income, right? But is the zoning? Is the zoning okay? Is it actually a legal basement? Right? Has it been registered? With the city, right? Like those are all things that people don't really,
think about.
Yeah,
they've never done it,
because we had a situation where we had a buyer client, right? They wanted to, have that extra income to help with their mortgage payments, right? And they looked at the listing information, right? And they're like, "Oh, this is perfect for us. This is amazing. There's a basement. We could use that to help us pay off the mortgage as well." After calling the listing agent, what did the listing agent say?
Well, remember the listing said in-law suite. That's what our clients were like. Well, that means it's finished. It has a bedroom. It has a kitchen. It has a separate entrance.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was just an in-law suite, right? It wasn't a legally registered
No,
basement.
it wasn't. Yeah.
Even when we went to see it, right? Like, so the thing with making it legally registered is that it's safe for someone to live in there. And when we went to see it, it was not safe.
No.
Meaning, like, if there was a fire or something and you were living in the basement, you wouldn't be able to get out.
Like the windows. The windows aren't up to code, right?
Yeah,
they weren't up to code at all.
You need two exit points,
exactly.
Right? You need fire separation between the main unit and the primary and the second unit.
Right.
So, but in that case, the lender also, right? The lender for those clients said, yeah, you could buy a house at a higher price point, but it needs a legally registered secondary suite. And then we can count the potential income from that to help you have more buying power, right?
Exactly.
So instead of maybe being able to buy something for 1.2 or 1.3 million, you could buy something for 1.6, 1.7, but it needs to be legit.
Yeah, of course. And even with the whole pre-approval process, right? Like you get pre-approved for a certain amount, right? But a lot of these first-time home buyers, they don't really understand, like I said, the other costs that are involved. So, so for example, the expenses of closing, property taxes, right? The amount of percentage that you're supposed to put, they say you put 2 to 3% of what the property value is in terms of utilities, right? But people don't really take into consideration, they see this amount that they're spending on a house, but they don't see the other incurred costs that come with a property, right?
Right.
And
just
so
buying it and then like owning it as well.
Exactly. So it's like to put our clients into a position where they also understand that, just to simmer down expectations, right? Because buying a house is very emotional. It's a very, very emotional process, right? And it's our responsibility to keep our clients patient, to keep them level-headed, right? To look at it from the perspective of, hey, like we're not in a rush, like there are agents that, push their clients to want to, because ultimately, it is a business, right? But it's about how do you operate, individually or as a team? Like, how do you operate? What do you stand for? What are your values?
And really, we want to continue working with people over and over again. We want to be their people, their real estate people, their real estate guys. Forever, right? Yeah. Which we've done, right? Like we've had a client, helped him lease on his own. Well, first helped him actually lease with a roommate, then find his own space, buy a condo, sell the condo, buy a townhouse, right? You can't do that repeat business with someone if you're not there to actually help them, right?
Yeah, and people know, right? People aren't stupid, right? People can tell if you're literally looking out for your own financial interests, and you're treating a client just as just like another number, as opposed to actually, being there for them throughout the whole process, right? Like, it's stressful, man. And like, to be able to even having to relocate from downtown Toronto, which a lot of people are doing in a way, to the suburbs because they want to upsize, whether it be family, right?
Yeah. And a lot of times our clients, they'll be like, I don't want to bother you. I don't want to trouble you.
No,
but maybe that was their experience working with someone else, right? But like, we're here to help you.
Yeah, man.
Like, if you want me to come to Oakville, like right now, I will come to Oakville right now, right? You want to go to Ajax right now? We'll go to Ajax. So I think you and I, we operate from this mentality of helping first.
Empathy, compassion.
Yeah, that's the right word, right? Like, sometimes like people will decide after 3 months, hey, it's not a good time for me to buy right now.
And that's okay.
That's fine with us, right?
There's no harm, no foul. Like, we don't take that shit personally.
Yeah.
We do not. It's just about, if it's not the right time for you, okay, fine. You know what? 6 months down the road, a year down the road, you come back to us and we'll devise a plan for you to be able to be in the best possible situation, right? And like I said, some agents get pushy. They take that shit personally, and you shouldn't, right? Yeah. And you shouldn't.
And, at the end of the day, like you said, this is a business, it's sales. And there's different types of salespeople, right? It's like, I don't know if you remember like Future Shop back in the day, right? Like,
wait, what's Future Shop?
Future Shop was like Best Buy competitor.
I know, man. Yeah.
Well, it's not talking about Best Buy.
Sidebar, yeah, I did a Best Buy commercial.
Are you allowed to tell people that?
Yeah, man. I don't see it,
So this holiday season, you're gonna see John in a Best Buy commercial. While you're watching TV.
No, I don't know, man. I mean, if you see me, shoot me a DM.
Tag him.
Yeah, tag me.
Okay, anyways, so like, remember going to like Future Shop, right? Those people there like worked on commission. I hated going to Future Shop.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person, so we could talk about this some other time, but like, I'm the kind of person who likes to do my research, have all the information, and I'll make a decision, right? And some people are more quick start. They need a lot less information to make a decision. So there's different types of people. And I think you and I, we like to work with people like ourselves where we want to give you all the information. We want to make sure you know exactly what you're getting into. And at the end of the day, knowing if this is not the right choice for you right now, we're okay with that.
Because let's be honest, everyone and their aunt literally has a real estate license.
What's a real estate license?
Huh? Everyone's licensed.
What's a license?
Everyone is able to, like, everyone, what are you
If you know me, I always say this. There's no such thing as a real estate license.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually,
man.
You're registered to trade.
Yes, exactly. You're registered to trade. Exactly. Wow. See, this is what happens when you work.
Bobby Altoff moment.
This is what happens when you work with someone who volunteers, for the cause. This is what happens. Yes, when you are registered to go and actually, to buy and sell, like, everyone and their aunt has their license, but it's like, what differentiates you? What differentiates you?
Yeah, I meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of people who, like you said, are just getting in the business, thinking of getting in the business, or, have been in the business, and they're doing something else full time, right? And I know a guy, he works a full-time job, right? So imagine you're trying to like negotiate a deal with this person, or this person's your salesperson. I've had this where I'm on the other end. I'm calling the agent all day. They don't answer the phone. They only call me back after 6 p.m. because that's when they get off of work. But we do this all day, right? Like, if we're working for you, and by there two of us being here, one of us is going to be reachable, right? We are here to work for you. Real estate doesn't only happen after 4, 5, 6 p.m., right? There's a lot that happens during the day. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So at the end of the day, we are full-time.
Like around the clock, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So as a first-time home buyer, I just want to talk about our process, John, before we wrap this up. Thinking about our process, right? So like it's very similar to leasing, right? We could start showing you houses right away. Many times people come to us like, oh, I saw this house. That's where this starts, right? I saw this house. I think I'm interested in it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so how are you planning to pay for it? Yeah, I'm going to get a mortgage. Have you spoken to someone about that? No. So how do we know what you're going to qualify for?
Yeah.
Right? So the very first thing we want to do is set you up with a mortgage broker. And with a mortgage broker, figure out what you could qualify for.
Because time is of the essence with this all, right? Yeah. So if you go to a mortgage agent and you are not pre-approved for the amount that that you saw in terms of the house that you saw, the listing that you saw on online or wherever you saw it, like driving by or going into an open house, like it is a waste of time, right? It is a waste of everybody's time in a way, right?
And their time
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right? Emotions, a lot of people fall in love with the house and they realize they can't afford it. They're not going to qualify for it or they won't get it. So then they start making emotional decisions, right? Please chill.
Oh, hey, sit. Yeah, you're good.
You
Oh,
got it,
there you go.
You got it.
Harpreet's dog. He's blind.
He's blind.
And we have a whole setup.
He's visually impaired. He's visually impaired. He's on fire.
That's gonna bring you. Hey, sit,
please. Yeah,
there you go.
All right,
do you want to make a cameo?
Can you sit here? Sit here.
Come here.
Come over here.
Come
on the couch.
Come here. Come. Yeah, I'm here. Come here. Yeah. Oh, that's the mic.
You're good. Yeah, right here. I'm right here. Yeah, chill.
Yeah, he's good.
He's wondering who you are.
He knows who I am.
He's like,
it's Uncle John.
He's like, what's happening over here? Don't step on.
No.
He's trying to get up.
You should probably move. Okay. You should probably put him on the.
We're back.
Are we back? Your dog, had made a bit of a cameo.
So
we're talking about pre-approval and mortgages in terms of not falling in love with a thing before you understand all the information that's provided for you.
And I was gonna say, people make like these. They fall in love with something, they realize they can't get it, and then they start making emotional decisions, right? So either now they're going outside of their budgets, they're finding alternative sources of money, right? Maybe they went to their parents or something, getting more money, or maybe they could actually qualify for something higher, but they didn't want to spend that much because they only wanted a certain monthly payment. So now they're making emotional decisions. Well, I really like this house, right? So I think,
or I think there's another thing that always comes up where they find this perfect property, right? That's listed at, a certain amount, right? But they think that, just because they qualify for that same amount of whatever that, that listing house is listed at, right? They don't know that ultimately that house is actually going to go for multiple, for multiple offers, right?
For more than what's listed.
Because that price is to sort of get people into the door to entice them. Right. And that's happened before too.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Where they're like, we saw this beautiful house. It's listed for like 1.6, and we qualify for 1.6. That's what we qualify for. But ultimately, looking at the other listings, we know that listing agent is pricing it at 1.6, but that's really the value of that house is actually like 1.89 too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when the market was hot, buyers understood that.
Yeah.
Right. Like whatever it's listed for, it's going to sell for more. But in the current market, things are taking longer to sell.
Yeah.
And some things, they're listed at 1.4 and it's going to sell for 1.35. And some buyers they're knowledgeable about the market. And like you said, other listings, they're priced lower, right? And it's going to sell for a lot more. Like we put in an offer for one client. I think we offered maybe like 1.4 or 1.5. It was listed at like around 1.6.
Yeah.
And it ended up selling.
I think it was one. We did 1.5.
Something like that.
Yeah, 1.5, and it was listed on 1.6. But we also knew that house was also listed.
Well, we knew this one go multiple offers
for sure.
But it ended up selling for 1.8, right?
Yeah.
And the clients, and sometimes we have to do that. At the end of the day, we have to act in the best interest of our clients. And with that one, they had an offer date. And we knew that the buyers were really the sellers were really motivated. Pro tip, I talked to the neighbors. The neighbors told me that these people have bought another house. The closing's at the end of September, and they really need to move. If you're thinking of moving, tell your sellers this, right? But like, tell your neighbors to like not talk to people.
Yeah.
But the neighbors happened to be outside, and they were Punjabi neighbors, and I was like, how's it going? How's the neighborhood? And then they're like, oh, are you going to buy the house? And I'm like, no, I'm the salesperson. My clients are right over there. And they're like, oh, cool. These people really have to move.
They're desperate.
Yeah. So
they're arguing every day.
The guy just started talking, right? So he starts telling me all this info, and I'm like, wonderful. So we knew that. And our clients went in with a low ball offer, but at the end of the day, we're working for our clients. We're not there to work for the sellers, right?
Exactly.
We are there to look out for our buyers. So we sent in an offer and
also giving them also weathering their expectations to understanding,
we talked about it, what the market value is. If by any chance the sellers do work with us, it's a great way to get a deal, because in this market you can get deals because there are people that are motivated. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So even for first-time home buyers, like right now, there's opportunities because you don't have to sell something to move in, right? So we're going to work with you. We can negotiate, right? Just because a condo is listed for 600 doesn't mean we have to pay 600 right now in this market, right? Or maybe we're going out to like Hamilton, we're going out to Ajax. You're seeing townhouses, well, not Ajax, but in others, 700, 800, maybe it's Kitchener, Cambridge. We can negotiate, right? And John and I love to negotiate, right? Like we love to do that. So
it's my inner Asian, I love a good deal.
Yeah, and we are there to work for you as the buyer. We're not there to work for the sellers. So I think in this market, if you're a first-time home buyer, or you're thinking about, when should I move? Interest rates are where they are now. The recent, they've been held where they are. So think about it this way. If you're in your early 20s, late 20s, early 30s.
Like looking to start a family, or if you're in a condo, you have a kid, you want to upsize, I think.
Tired of living with your roommates.
Yeah.
And I've lived with roommates. You've had roommates, right? Like, you know how that is. So really, if you're there, you're ready to make that move, have the conversation. Don't be scared off by the interest rates, right? If you are able to afford that monthly commitment, your future self will thank you, right? Like 10 years later, you're going to be like, I should have done this sooner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of people are getting scared off because of the interest rates, but it's our responsibility as well as to provide that information for you, to lay it out, right? Lay down the hard truth, whether it be possible or not.
And we work with really good mortgage brokers and agents. So reach out to us. And based off of actually, your personality and the kind of person you are, we can connect you with a similar type mortgage professional, right? Who understands you. Maybe even if it's a language issue, we can connect you with someone that speaks a different language. But that is where we need to start, right? Don't just walk into your bank and see what your bank offers you. A mortgage broker gets paid commission, and they get paid commission. So they are working really hard to find you the best deal.
Of course. And also at the same time, as a first-time home buyer, it's also like the onus is on you as well, to do the research prior, right? Like even though you find the perfect home and it's priced, in a way where it makes financial sense for you, there's all the small little details that you actually have to do as well, where go to the location, see what the community is all about. And the best way to actually do that is to go into, let's say if there are shops in the area, stores in the area, like talk to them, talk to the people there, see what the vibe is.
Talk to the neighbors.
Talk to the neighbors, right? Yeah, of course, right? And so, I think
to the concierge, the security in the building, right?
Or whether you go out to the suburbs as well too, right?
Yeah.
Like talk to the neighbors, talk to the shop owners, see what it's all about, because, ultimately, if you are going to be there for the long haul, the long term, right? You got to put yourself in this situation, to succeed. And, if you are looking to expand and have kids, seeing what schools are available, seeing what, community centers are available for you too, right?
And we can help you with all that, right? We can put together reports on neighborhoods. We can help you figure out the school areas. And at the end of the day, you just got to go and check it out, right? Like, I think that's something we tell our clients, go spend a day there on the weekend, right? And
well, even with like schooling, there was like that one client where like, oh, this is like the perfect school for us. Like this is amazing. This is the best situation.
Kids can walk.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, they also realized that school actually they weren't intaking any new students.
Oh, right.
So they were actually
have to go bus to a different school.
Bus like half an hour to a different school, right? So it's like situations like that. Like obviously, like do your research as well, right? Like as much as we will provide that value, at the same time, it's also it's like a 50-50 kind of thing too, right?
Yeah. You've got to be willing to share with us what's important to you. So many times we do, and people give us the oh, I need 3 bedrooms. I need this. But like, really talk to us. What is important to you? And we always try to get that information.
Yeah, and if you want to upsize, it's like this is a lifestyle change, right? It is. It's a different change, right? So just knowing what you want specifically.
Cool. So I say we wrap it up.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever, like leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, wherever you're watching this. Send us questions, right? Let us know how we're doing. This is our second one.
Or like what you want us to talk about. I think we'll do it more. Like we'll do it more frequently for sure.
Yeah, and John's gonna be working on something, so maybe I'll bring in some other guests while John's gone.
Yeah, while I'm gone. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe like if you want to see a lawyer up in here, you want to see a mortgage agent, whatever it is, like we have that network. We can bring some people in. Maybe you want to see a financial advisor come in here and talk about what is the right decision to make and give you some pro tips, because there is a new first-time home buyer saving account. So we can get into that. So send us your questions. Jonathan's on Instagram.
Yes. It's Sold by J. Kim.
Sold by J. Kim. Give him a follow. It's his new real estate account. Follow his Instagram account. You can follow me, Sold by Harp. Follow us both on HSR.team, I think it is HSR team. Yeah. We'll post clips of this and send us your questions, man. We're looking forward to working with you.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Take care.